I mean, it was scary. I mean, you never want to hear that. I don't care whether it's skin cancer or whatever, but it's definitely changes you.
Horrible. It was horrible.
It was pretty awful. It's a horrible thing to have to go through.
All in all, it was pretty awful. Surreal. I just did what they told me to do to make sure I lived through it.
Temporary situation, so there was always a light at the end of the tunnel.
I think it's the fear of the unknown. I was definitely afraid of not knowing what was going to happen and what the treatments were going to be like. I remember talking to the doctors and them explaining it, but until you walk into the chemo ward and they put the needle in your arm and those kind of things, it's the fear of the unknown. Once I did everything once, then I knew what was going to happen and what my body was going to react, even though it went down every time, but it was still, I think it's the fear of the unknown that you just don't know what's going to happen.
Cancer is hard on everybody who is around it, whether they are the patient, a family member, or a friend. It is hard being a family member and watching someone you love be in so much pain, but it is not as hard as what the patients themselves have to go through. The patients have to deal with the fact that they could die, and they have to be willing to fight for their life.
I would say the hardest part for me was watching my family watch me do the treatment. I always knew I could handle the treatment and that it wasn't going to kill me, but it was hard to watch the other people watch me do it.
My mom had just been diagnosed with lung cancer, stage 4, right around the same time I was diagnosed. And so having to see everything she went through was hard, but I think it kind of helped each of us because she was more worried about me and I was more worried about her, that we weren't really worried about ourselves that much.
The family rallied around and you just do what you have to do, but when you're called to the bathroom to throw up, that's the hard part.
I wasn't ready to leave my children and my husband and my family.
I never thought about dying, just didn't think it was my time.
Cancer is something that nobody should have to go through alone. There are many people that would be there to help. Family would most likely be the first to step up. However, there are other options such as support systems and groups. Friends often help too. A group of people that are rallied behind a patient raises their desire to live.
My family, always the family.
My family, the support system, and work. I just kept busy.
My husband, my children, and my friend Cindy Lou. Well, they took care of me. Everybody helped take care of me and took care. I had great friends. They brought meals and my husband picked me up off the bathroom floor and Cindy took me to every radiation treatment. And I just had great people to help me get through a year of hell.
My mom and dad were, although my dad was not that he was more worried about my mom, but hers was more aggressive and I guess worse is the word I want to use than mine. So we were all more worried about her, but she was worried about me, and she actually kept a journal and she would write in her journal, and she had written in her journal about me and that she was worried and scared and stuff. But my in-laws were amazing, and friends that I didn't realize how good they were there for me too.
Cancer changes a lot of things. It causes the patient to be more aware of the things that are happening inside and around them. It makes them realize that they need to be healthier and keep track of their body. It causes them to notice things more and understand what is happening. People that survive cancer tend to have a whole new perspective on life, and they also have a greater appreciation for the things that they have.
I think it's changed a lot of things. I've mellowed. I don't let things bother me.
You just try and eat a little healthier and be a little bit more aware of just taking better care of yourself, I guess.
I don't allow people to bother me the way that they used to. I only surround myself with people who I enjoy being with and who I love and respect, and vice versa.
I notice things more, like I pay attention to my body more with things going on. I appreciate things more. I can't really say in one way it did or didn't, because I always think I was more of an appreciative person of things that I had, but it really makes you put things into perspective and look at life differently.
Chemotherapy is the use of drugs to kill cancer cells. It prevents them from growing, spreading, or dividing. Chemotherapy is said to be one of the worst parts of the entire ordeal. Radiation is therapy that uses ionizing radiation to control or kill malignant cells. Radiation is also used to shrink tumors. Radiation therapy is synergistic with chemotherapy, meaning that the two go hand in hand when trying to kill cancer cells. There are many other types of treatments to get rid of cancer. One example is drug therapy.
I think ultimately radiation did the most damage to my body.
This happened to you, but on the other hand, I could be dead. I'm still here, so I'm grateful for all the treatments and the stuff that we're able to do.
It gave me skin breakdowns and bone problems and internal organ issues.
Cancer causes the victim to put things into perspective. It makes them realize that life is important and fragile. They realize that they could die because of this life-threatening disease. Some people feel so invincible that when they get diagnosed with cancer, they definitely get knocked down a little bit. The survivors are often grateful for what they have, and they are more appreciative of life.
Horrible. I mean, it wasn't horrible for me compared to what other people go through, but as my experience, it's not anything I would wish on anybody, because when you never think you're gonna hear the C word, and then when you get a call that says you do have cancer, your first thought is like, what's gonna happen? Has it spread? You don't know anything that's going on.
Well, I guess you're pretty cocky when you think you can live forever, and then, you just kind of get knocked down a little bit. So I think you just learn to appreciate the people you love and your family and what you care about.
And then once you have everything figured out, it's better, but your first thought is, what did I do? What could I have done differently? Is it something that I did? He said you'd probably get some other type of cancer or something else before you die from what you had.
Oh, life is good. You have some bumps in the road, but you just make the best of it.